Hello and welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day and hope life is going great for you. I am happy to be here. Happy to see you. You bright eyed, eager listener or producer so we can make some music. Hope you're having a good day today. Put on my producing glasses. Hope you're having a beautiful day today and it is going well for you. We are back at the studio, fresh out the shower, fresh with the workout, and we're going to get some production done today. So if you don't know what this is about, know that we are making music and lots of it. We've been making music pretty much steady all for the past couple weeks, and I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the conversations with you all. It's been really good. It's been cool. I also found somebody on YouTube today just that put in like they just put in their title melodic progressive house and it said low quality, and it was actually really good. I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Z8phyR, and just type him in YouTube, Z8phyR. Check him out. You might be surprised. So yeah. I mean, this is the only video. This is the first video he posted with a FL Studio. But anyways, heard him. Gave him a subscribe because I hope he makes more music. And want to support people that are producing melodic progressive house in any way that I can. So big shout out. Hope you continue to make music, my friend. And thanks for the lovely words and comments as well. Big shout out to Titra for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for the subscription. And if you happen to tune into one of my lives, just know that I do appreciate it. And I hope you're enjoying the videos, the content, and there will be more to come. We're definitely going to up the content here. Right now, though, we're just streaming. We're just making sure we get some music made and created. Then we'll worry more about the other stuff, So, anyways, I hope you're having a beautiful one. I'm going to listen to our concept that we made, and then make some adjustments while I'm sipping my coffee and drinking and eating my orange, and then we'll start producing. Nothing like concrete planned. Just know that we're going to get this bad boy going. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the chat down below. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel to support what I'm doing, to keep making these videos, to keep producing this music, and hopefully bring you content that's better quality and more interesting, I guess. So anyways, we will get into the music. Like I said, this is I'm going to listen to this while I'm sipping my coffee and kind of getting settled into the producer's chair. I kind of just sit down and turn the stream on. I don't really do much else. So anyways, this concept right here is something that we started yesterday. Yesterday's stream, we started it. It turned into this. Now today we're going to maybe finish out the concept, make sure it's more solid concept, and then we'll start the arrangement process. So today should be mostly an arrangement day. Maybe a few elements added or deleted depending on what's going on. And then we should be slated to finish this by tomorrow. But it could be done today, depending on how I'm feeling and how fast I get to work on this. It could be done quicker. So anyways, just a big shout out to everybody that does support and help this channel grow. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, the listener. I appreciate you, the producer, that takes this knowledge and goes out and produces your own songs of your own versions. I hope you keep doing that. Know that I do support that part of the journey and hope you keep doing it. And that's really it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, just sit back, enjoy the ride. If you're just lurking, it's cool. I don't mind you sitting back, chilling. Hopefully, it's good, entertaining, or good background videos, And yeah, let's get some music, huh? This will be my first time hearing this today. Since I turned the stream, I almost played it earlier this morning, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait until I actually turn on the stream, and then I'm gonna press play on it again, so that way it's like fresh. Like I can barely remember what I was doing, so this will be great. Blake says here for another great stream. Hey Blake, how's it going? And yeah, we are starting it up. We're just getting started, my friend. So let's see what we can do today. See if we can make some music, huh? And how you doing, man? All right, I'm going to play this, sip some coffee, and hopefully it's as awesome as I left it last night. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes I make stuff the day before, then I hear it the next day, and I'm like, man, what was I thinking making all of this? Sometimes it doesn't work. Fun stream for background while working. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you for supporting, and I hope you're having a great day at work or whatever you're doing, taking care of and doing. I hope it's a great one for you, my friend. Thanks. Y'all, what's up, man? How you doing, my friend? Eating my orange, listening to this tune we started on yesterday. Kind of just playing around with it a little bit, just seeing how it sounds, soloed out certain parts. But yeah, we're back. Welcome back, my friend. And yeah, we are We are in the producer's seat right now. Making some music. Paulo, what's up? Man, it's going fantastic. Tell you, any day that I get to sit down and create some music is a fantastic, fantastic day. It really is. So it's a beautiful day here, and I hope it's a beautiful one for you as well. It's going well. I'm over here enjoying this little snack. My little snacky snack. That'll stimulate the creative juices so we can start flowing them from the brain to the speakers. Stream in a rainy day. Oh, it's raining? Well, hey, there we go. I like the rain, so hopefully it's a good rain, a peaceful, enjoyable rain. Well, guys, I'm making some music. I'm doing what I can to bring good vibes out there to the world. Spreading love, peace, and joy best we can. You want one? I got an extra one for you, Paulo. I got an extra one. I don't know how to get it to you, but I do have an extra one. I'll save it for you. How's that? The splitting them all into their own little channels. It's like spreading the seeds of music. So it really begins. Hey, cool. Found some neighbors in the chat right here, huh? So here we're just kind of we're just splitting them all into their own sort of patterns, and then that way it gives me more control over them for one, and for two, it also allows me to kind of start the arrangement process properly. Live melodies, that's right. See, when you see somebody produce it live, you can see them do all the little live stuff that might not make it, but you know, sometimes you just want to jam with your music, right? I realize you start creating the middle of the music, the main part, and the other parts, intro and end. Am I right? Correct. Basically, I am creating uh, the most highest action energy part, and then it's easier for me to build parts up to it and take parts of it away. So this part you see right here is going to be like the main portion of it. So I built the highest action part of the music first, and then I degress it down for like the intro and stuff. And now, like, even though I do it like this, sometimes you still end up adding and taking away even the main parts, but this is basically the main idea. So this is what I call sketch. You know, like we sketch how it's supposed to look, and then after we do all that, then we erase it all, so to speak, and now I have an outline to follow. Like I know I want it to sound like this in the song, so as long as I get to this portion of it, no matter what I do, then I'm doing it correctly. So yeah, you're correct. that is just my strategy too. It's not like that's the way to make music. It's just a way to make music. But it helps me figure out if it's worth making the intro and worth making the outro and making the bridge and all that in the meantime. But there are times too where I'll start with like just the intro. Like I'll make an intro from the intro and but I don't really make music linearly from start to finish. I do it like you said. I do it in the middle and then I'll start it, make it attached to the middle, make it the bridge, and then make it in. So that's what you're seeing me here doing now is starting to create the intro portions of it, kind of starting to arrange it out. And that's why this playlist is going to be so long already, because I already know I'm going to get down to this. And it also encourages me to produce it out there. And you start with the melodies of the middle of the song. Yeah, pretty much. And then like what I do is I find the melodies of it and then I start taking it away and making it like previewing it like in the intro. You'll hear previews of the melody, not the full thing, or like little hints of it, like the motifs, hints of the motifs. And if you look at like most songs that are made, like orchestrated, I guess, like that's kind of how it always works. Like think of like Jurassic Park or Harry Potter's a good one. It has like a main like motif to it, some kind of main like you know theme, and then they'll break that theme up into little bits throughout like the movie or whatever, even the song, and they'll change it depending on what's happening inside of the picture. So like there's like some scary stuff going on or like it's mysterious. They'll make the theme mysterious, but it's the same theme throughout the thing. So like the listener kind of gets used to it and understands it. And that's kind of what I'm doing here is I'm going to introduce like elements of the melody, like whatever the main melody is, and let the listener get used to it, and then that way I can add more stuff in, basically that will still mesh with the main melody. So I'll do like these little like bits of the melody in the beginning, bridge, and then it all kind of fits together. First the melody, and after progression chords that fits the melodies. Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. As long as you know what key you're in, you're gonna be fine. Like it's probably gonna match. But obviously, like there's so many ways you can take a melody. You can make the melody sound more like somber if you like drop the chords down, or you can make it more a melody sound more uplifting if you're like bringing the chord progression up, like going up, leading it up, maybe it gives it a more hopeful or uplifting quality. So, that's how chord progressions and melodies can always be different. Like you can use the same chords or same melody with different chords behind it, and you can change the character of that melody. And that's just the idea. Like obviously, just do it however you feel is good. But it's just the idea behind it. Cool, man. Thanks. No problem, dude. Thank you. The intro I never see you creating. This is the first time. Hey, well, yeah, I've done it a lot. Like, I do it a lot. I've created a lot, but I'm glad you're here for it. And yeah, we'll see what I can do. See if I can make something interesting or not. Maybe it's not. What shortcut did you use to concatenate multiple MIDI notes into one? I don't know if it was clear. Basically, I made them legato so they all touched each other and then grouped them. So it's like two shortcuts in one. I'm assuming you're referring to like the bass. So like see here how all these MIDI notes are like separated. And then it's a legato function, which I'm sure it exists in all the studios. And you go to quick legato, so it like makes the notes touch each other. Boom. And they're all still, you can still see the distances, like there's still breaks in them. So then you I just grouped them. So whatever the grouping function is, I just did that. Well, not that one. I just select them all and then you group them together and this makes them all like actual longer form notes. And then from there, since the original intro is actually the whole length of these 4 bars, the progression in the verse is only 2 bars. So I had to erase these. Bring these back, and then you can stretch them out over the process of 4 bars. And that makes like the bass line. Like it's just a fast way of doing the bass line. Like there's so many ways, but that's just how I do things to quickly use like the same MIDI notes and then turn them into, other little like use them for other sections of my track. So that's what I did. Thanks. Hey, no problem. Is it more difficult for you to remix or create music from scratch? Ooh, I would say it used to be more difficult uh to remix, but remixing really isn't that difficult because I mean it can be. It depends on how the track is. I'll tell you that. Like remixing is kind of like you don't know what you're gonna get, like as far as the MIDI notes, wave files. So it can be like a little difficult to kind of do it. Like there's some remixes I've tried where I couldn't do them. But there's also some songs I've created from scratch where I couldn't finish them. What do I? So I guess it's difficult for me to remix certain songs. Whereas it would be easier for me to create some of them from scratch. But remixing can be easier as well because it gives you all of the information already. Like you already got the chord progression, the bass, the melodic, whatever, the arps, the MIDI, like everything's already there, and all you got to do is just like put your own spin on it. You know what I mean? So it's always back and forth, but typically, remixing can be harder because it just depends. Like it's very like this is a lot more variables in what you're gonna get. You know, it's like a surprise bag or something. Like you don't know if it's gonna be like good MIDI notes that you are able to work with, or do you have to? And for me, when I remix, to be completely honest, whenever I remix a song, I treat it like I'm making my own song. You know what I mean? Like I just listen to like the important elements of the song that the artist made. I take that in consideration and then I use their stuff to make my own kind of version of it. You know what I mean? Which is what you do, but you know, like a lot of times the remix may not really have that artist's sounds in there like the original. It just like hints to it. It alludes to it, but it doesn't. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, you got to be careful. I have to be careful when I do remix because a lot of times I don't. I think of it more like I have to make the song sound like it sounds. Um, and so I have to be careful not to overwrite their sound, whatever they put, whatever it is, and make sure like you can still recognize that the original song. Hey bro, how you doing? Hey HKJ, what's going down, my friend? Uh it's going good. It's going great. It's going great. Um Tarcisio, in a remix you need to put your identity in the music that already has an identity, so it seems more difficult than creating from scratch. Yeah, like that's a great way to put it. Um Remixes, the song already has an identity, so like if the song is excellent and amazing, it's difficult for you to even like rehash that, you know? Like if something's so good, you can't make it again, you know what I mean? Like it's difficult. But it's not impossible, and that's why it's a good challenge. Like it's good to remix things cuz it kind of makes you look at it from a different perspective. HK, so like this one, you've created it from scratch or you're remixing it? This one is from scratch. This is the one we started on yesterday, and we're just continuing the production from it. Everything that you guys seen so far within the last 2 weeks has all just been from scratch, like top of my head, blah blah blah. I haven't remixed anything yet on stream. Now, that's not to say that's not to come though. I am thinking about remixing something, but I kind of want to find like an artist, you know, like to remix. I mean, I know people always want you to remix like the popular stuff that's out there already, and that's okay too. Like I could do that as well, but uh, if I do, it would be like a bootleg. Like I wouldn't mind bootlegging, remixing a song. Well, that would be kind of fun. You know, like a mainstream type of song where I just sort of by ear recreate all the chords and stuff, and then make our own version of it. But I guess right now I'm just kind of getting used to creating and like I used to again since I had like a 6 month, half a year break of not really doing much. Didn't worry about it, didn't try, didn't really make much. I made a little bit on the iPad, but I wasn't at my studio, so like I wasn't had my tools that I usually have, you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I think you see where I'm coming from as well, where, you know, it's it's definitely there's definitely challenges to both. Sometimes when you create from scratch, like you get a little lost in the details, and then you don't ever really get it to its full potential. And that's where I think like collaborations are very valuable too. If an artist is interested, it's a lot more. You can get kind of lost in the details sometimes. So there's drawbacks to both. I personally just enjoy creating from scratch more, but I do think there's a lot of merit and value in remixing and collaborations as well. Um, but I really like to just create without like restriction, So like I would like to go from one angle to the next, So this guy is so good. He created this yesterday. Tomorrow he'll finish it. No, no. It won't be 100%, but like we got to keep the music flowing, right? Tomorrow he'll create the ending. Yes, probably tomorrow. If we're really on top of things, but tomorrow. Oh, great. I enjoyed a lot the soft session you added into it MP music. Feeling so touched. Hey, thank you, HHI. I appreciate it. Thanks for the compliment as well, Tarcisio. Much love, my friend. Um, yeah, we're just, like this is what we do though. Like if you're a producer, if you're somebody who creates, then you definitely want to make it to the end of your song. It's something about being done with it and actually releasing it. It's like euphoric, It gives you like a high, it gives you some kind of excitement, which is why like I have a lot of music I've made that I haven't even got to the final portion of like putting it out there, but I just really wanted to kind of create for you guys and show you guys kind of my methods and show the process behind it all. And, you could see how some tracks seem to flow together real easy, and other tracks seem to like, there's a lot of back and forth, or some things that get changed up completely. You can see it's not just like a straight. And then Tarcisio he noticed, like, oh, you're not even creating the intro first. You're creating like the middle of your track first. So the track isn't really A, B, C, D. It's like you started in at C, and now you're coming back to A because you got C's information. So like that's kind of how it works is you start in the middle, you get a lot of the ideas going, then you're like, okay, now I know what beginning to add to this. And now I know how I want this to end, and I know how I want this to flow. And for me, I love making the middle because the real challenge is like, okay, how can I have this like super flowy intro, ethereal kind of intro, and then it turns into that portion where it's like high energy and it picks you up and stuff. And I don't know, I like it, I do it quite a bit. So that's kind of what we're doing here is just creating one side of it and then raising the energy up into a more like high energy. Also, this is a little bit faster tempo. It's 124. So we have sped it up a little bit as well. Will the song be released this year? Very unlikely to be released because that means I would have to have it out by next month. But it won't be any later than like early next year, like January, February. So it won't be next month, but it'll be the month after most likely. Since I have a lot of music that I'm putting on there on this album, we somehow started creating. I'm gonna probably release all these together, a lot of these together. So it won't be immediately. Like a lot of these songs you're hearing, they are like really early. Like typically you wouldn't even know this was coming until it is dropped. And you're like, dang, you were crazy. You made this. And it's like, yeah, I made it like 6 months ago, dude. Or in a year ago, like it takes a while. But if you're here now, you're like super early, really early with like the music coming out. So like you might hear this song and it might like get on somebody's playlist next year in June, And you're like, dang, wasn't he making this in like November, December of last year? Like that is the honest truth to the music. Like it takes a long time for it to come out. Christmas gift? Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. I don't know, maybe. In fact, my Christmas gift's gonna be sending somebody a T-shirt. That's gonna be my Christmas gift. Sending one of you guys a T-shirt. Um, that'll be. But I might put something out too. I'm gonna hook up my listeners and people, some project files, something. You know what I mean? We'll get it done. But we are gonna drop something soon, very very soon. I do have a lot of songs that are like pretty much done. I just haven't released them yet because I haven't really done the artwork for them, and I do need to do the artwork. And some of them I need to double check, make sure they're okay. Now that it's been a while, and we'll get it out there. But so far, we're just kind of cruising along. We're not in any rush just quite yet. I do want to put something out though. I'm itching to release something, so I probably will. But as long as we're making the music, we're on the right path. You know what I mean? Heard what you said about a new album before. Am I right? Yeah, you heard correct. Should be a new album coming out, which is why I'm not like releasing these immediately. They'll probably all be on the album. But what I might do, thinking about it, because I do have a little creative freedom here, especially since I'm not like signing it with a label or something. I mean, I could release it on my own personal label, Cool Breeze. I could release it on Cool Breeze. But I may do a Bandcamp release first, and then drop it off on release it as like a official album on like platforms and stuff. Hook up my Bandcamp listeners as well. But yeah, we have a new album. We should have about, hang on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs, maybe 11, maybe 12. Then we got maybe 12 songs already, basically, including this one. This will be 12, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 to 12. So we'll see how many, but about 11 to 12 new tracks to put out. Actually, probably like 11, because at least one of these tracks are going to be like a free, like royalty free, copyright free, project files are free, free, as much as we can do to hook up people that listen and want to produce it themselves. But we're looking at least a solid 10 track album. So why not, right? I mean, they're not lucrative, like releasing albums is kind of like more creative. If I want to be like greedy or try to actually earn money, then they would just be singles, back to back singles, or like small EPs, like 2-track EPs, 3-track EPs, and we could do like 3 of those. You know what I mean? Mm. So we'll see, but yeah, this album should be good. Oh, I do have some other songs that I made on the iPad, like quite a few that I need to actually finish too. So I have a lot of songs that need to be done. A few months earlier, I think I asked about the next album. You were probably still working on it. I asked you on stream too. Okay, well, I don't know what was going on then. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what I said about it then, but right now we're looking at least having this album out by beginning of next year, like mid-January time frame or early February at the latest. Just sometimes it takes a while too. When you drop albums, it takes a while for them to hit streaming services. You have to wait like at least a month, at least 45 days or something from the time you schedule it for release, at least. So when we're done with this and we're done with whatever, we'll probably I'll probably do a little bit more focus work on the artwork and the like the promo stuff for it, promo artwork and album art, making it good. I will probably make a couple of CDs. Like here's a CD, of what the artwork and stuff. Where this is actually like it was somebody actually did this for me. The artwork for it is actual watercolor. So I commissioned them actually. So we're gonna get an album to drop soon here. We're not gonna wait too long. As long as I'm making the music, it's gonna have to come out eventually, and especially because a lot of the listeners have donated and stuff, and they said, "Oh, you gotta drop this. You gotta release this. I'm looking forward to this. I want to put this on my playlist." So I owe that to my listeners as well to release all this so they can have it on their playlist, they can share it, etc. So we definitely will have a new album dropping. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't released an album in a while. Just it's nobody's fault or anything. Um, it's just what it was. That CD has a way. Hey, yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it has that song on there. So it has a way. Blue winds after the storm. Uh, Sincerely red. Uh, and 2 more. I don't know if I have the album artwork on here. The track listing. The reason why I still have this one is because I messed up the signature on it because it was supposed to be autographed for like people bought this. So like 10 people bought an autographed signature copy, which that was actually like kind of hard sending them out. People bought it and I had to send them out and stuff. I mean, it was actually okay, but anyways, I messed up the signature on the CD itself, so I decided to just keep it. You might be able to see the mistake on it behind, but I messed it up and I tried to erase it and redo it and I didn't like it, so I was like, well, screw it, I'll just keep it. And maybe if I run into somebody physically who like knows who I am and stuff, I'll give it to them, man. You know what I mean? But I have yet to run into somebody actually physically in the world that knows anything about melodic progressive house in general. Like barely anybody I know even knows progressive house or trance or most of the people that know electronic music are people that are very into like raves, so like hard step type stuff. But we'll see how this next album goes and what I'm going to do to kind of market it out. Um, just just to give something to the people that support me, which I really appreciate, by the way. Thank you. I thank you. In addition to seeing the creation of the song, you're helping me to learn English. Thanks, man. It's a pleasure for me. Hold on, man. I don't know if you should be learning English from me. I wouldn't say I have the greatest English, but thank you. Thanks for just tuning in, man, and being part of the stream. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad you're getting some educational content out of this. That's awesome for me as somebody who creates. I've always been happy to show my process, happy to teach people. I've taught a lot of people, at least like how to use FL Studio, and I kind of always felt that way. Like if I learned something, I would love for other people to learn it as well and be able to do it themselves. But it's the first time anybody's learned English from me. So cool, man. I hope it is helping, and I'm glad it does help. Yeah, you're just gonna be a native walking around America, the US, just natively speaking English, no problem. uh so now you have to teach me your language though, right? So it's a two-way thing. It's true. You're one of the few people I listen to in English. In a way, I understand English and language. Thanks. Hey. Well, thank you. I'm honored and happy to be one of the few. For sure. I appreciate it. Without these automations, the music would look square. With them, she is smooth. Ah, yes. Automations is one of the great big secrets of music production. Knowing automations, knowing how to automate things makes a world of difference to how your stuff is done. So yeah, that's what you see a lot during the arrangement phase and stuff is automation after automation. So you definitely are aware, and in fact, like when I was new to production, I remember being new to music production, I never wanted to automate. I was always scared of it. I never wanted to do it. I don't know why. Like now looking back on it, it's like it was dumb, but back then I was younger, I didn't get it. Like it didn't make sense. Like the lines and all that, it was very counterintuitive to making the music to me. So once I started to automate and understood automations, my music improved a lot. So yes, without automations, it makes everything a lot more jarring, and uh, less organic, less natural sounding, and makes it more robotic. The automations is what gives things character. Volume automating the low pass, the high pass, filtering, all that stuff, like reverb, adding reverb, taking it away, delays, taking the delays away. All that's very necessary. So you have to automate it in some form or fashion. And people that understand that and do that are definitely ahead of the ball game, ahead of the curve, so to speak. Do you map automations on your keyboard? I did. I used to, but I typically don't, since I do 90% of my work just on the mouse and keyboard. I would love to have kind of like a physical setup, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of counterintuitive for me, my workflow. Until I have like a lot more physical gear to, like, like having a couple of knobs um is great. Like the in this M this I used to have an M Audio keyboard. I had to change my keyboard to a Alesis because my M Audio died. How about that, right? Use your keyboard so much it stops working. But anyways, the Alesis is what I got now, which, see if I can show you there. That's it right there. And yeah, like that I don't even know where I was at. Somewhere that looks good. That that didn't really have knobs, you know what I mean? That didn't really have knobs. It just had like a couple, but the I gave that to somebody, which I don't think they really used it, but at least I gave it to them because I was like, hey, if you because it was like the keys were sticking. Some of the keys wouldn't work. It was pretty bad. So this Alesis though has four knobs that are they're really tactile. They feel really great, very smooth. But I never really got into using them. If I had like a um uh I don't know, like a more where I could do everything on an actual physical device, then I would probably be linking up the automations a lot more. I do have a Fire, an Akai Fire, the Fire like MIDI controller, but I haven't used that too much either. Like I've done some stuff with it, but I haven't really played around with it like absolutely enough. it hasn't been integral in my productions since 90% of what I do, I just use the mouse and keyboard and the whatever's on the computer screen. I just use that. You know what I mean? Like I don't I don't really need it to and most of the recording I do, I'm gonna quantize it and fix the recording post. So it doesn't need to be like that. But sometimes, every now and then, very, very rarely do I I'll map an automation and use it within the track. It's just very rare. I just don't do it. I don't typically do it. It's just every now and then I might. But the thing about like automating on FL Studio is you can link anything, any like any of these knobs, you can link them to anything you want. So sometimes I might link a knob here and there, like maybe I want the reverb on this or something, then I'll do that just to, as I'm producing, maybe I want to turn things up or down. But since I'm doing most of my productions sort of live in the mix, going as we go, there just hasn't been a much of a need for it. It seems that the mapping is for performance live, playing live. Yeah, I exactly. And that's typically when I find the most enjoyable too, is when I'm like doing like silly live things, like I'm just making stuff up on the fly. Then the automating is when it comes in handy. Um, and yeah, there's not like, it's not like this keyboard is really for anything, but probably it's mostly for like a producer keyboard, and by which I mean if it's a keyboard for live, there's usually more kind of knobs and options, and there's like, settings, and there's like a lot more things you can do to make it its own little studio. Yeah, your keyboard is a minimalist. I like, hey, yeah, exactly. It's a very minimalist sort of keyboard, and I like that. Like, just play the keys, like I don't really need a bunch of extra, uh, you know, stuff that I probably won't use, is all I'm saying. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just personally, I like the keyboard to just play it more than like do. Now, I'm not saying if I got a offer for like a free, like a Roland synth or something, like something cool, that I'd definitely take that and start learning it out. I would love to have that kind of stuff, but for me to produce just your mellow prog tune, I just use like this minimalist sort of style keyboard. I just like the being able to change the octaves. I do like 49 keys. It's actually really nice to have 49 keys. So it's like half of a piano, and it has a couple of pads on here. So it's pretty good. At most, it should have the volume knobs. Yeah, like the knobs are universal, omni. You can link them to volume, you can link them to panning, you can link them to pitch, you can do whatever you want. It's just whatever I feel like, and you can do that with, I'm sure, any DAW, any studio like program. But FL Studio is definitely very, very versatile when it comes to that stuff. You can link knobs anywhere. I mean, I could literally. There's these things that you can do with FL Studio. I need to get back on the forums because I used to kind of research stuff because it was just really cool, man. Like you could do, you could like play a key, and depending on where you're at in the key, you could have like the F would be more verbed than the C key, like each key could trigger different kind of effects, and it really is cool in like a performance setting. So I may look more into it again. Like people used to use these cool little things. There's some people that are just absolute wizards at FL Studio that blow me away, but I kind of just want to do what I want to do, So I don't look too much into it, but maybe someday. I'm not against it. Thinking about adding a little like fill at the end of this like rise right here, since it's kind of like rising up to the speed. I might try a few of these out and see if I like them. My keyboard has pads, but I never use them because when I play, I already preset what I need. Yep, yeah, I'm kind of the same. And like for drum stuff, like they are pretty cool for like experimenting and finding like something you like. You know what I mean? But yeah, most of the time I'm the same. It's kind of the same. Like I don't like for these. They're just like they're really nice, and it's really cool. But I rarely load up a drum pad in FL Studio because all my drums are gonna be uh third party drums most of the time, anyways. Like Ad Browns or Vengeance or maybe Cabanas. Like there's gonna be different drums, so I don't really worry about loading up a drum thing. Sometimes I do when I want to make like more like chill out, sort of down tempo type of music, which I do from time to time. I like that stuff, like highway cruise, down tempo sort of stuff. I'll use like FPC stuff, and I'll create my own little drums like that. You know, I just really love mellow prog. That's why I kind of do it so much. Like I just really enjoy the outcomes of it. Spend a lot of time with it, and I want to be better at it. So that's why I make it a lot too. I'll start with some cymbals first, and then I'll worry about the fills a little later. Novation launch key MK361. Oh yeah, sure. I'll look at it. See how it looks. I like that stuff. I like gears and stuff. That's of course. I think every producer does. I like that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I like this one. I like this one. I like the fader knobs too. That's actually really pretty. And that I could probably get behind using these. I could probably get behind using these mixer knobs more than anything else. Yeah, I like the mixer knobs would be really nice. And then like these have like swing, gate, mutate, deviate. Like on mine, it just has like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it doesn't have like specific things. This looks really cool though. Um, pot mode, pad mode. Oh, I see. Oh, cool. You can do user chords, custom pads, stop, play. Oh, the modes of the faders. Oh, that's actually really cool. Capture MIDI. So does this is this just a MIDI controller? Or can you like create within this as well? Like is it an actual sound? Does it generate sound too? You know what I mean? Because that'd be interesting. Like could you actually like just hook these up to some speakers and start making your own beats or sounds, so to speak? Or is it just specifically a MIDI controller? I guess I could find out actually. It's for making track. It's a MIDI controller for making tracks in Ableton Live. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So it's seamlessly, and I think do you use Ableton? I think that's right. So you use Ableton. Okay. Only MIDI. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, but it links up like seamlessly to Ableton. It's made for Ableton. So that's really cool. That's really cool that it's made just for Ableton. Um, oh yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty neat. It also has 8 scales, so that's really cool. Oh, fully integration with Logic and Reason with other DAWs, including Studio One, Cubase, Pro Tools. Yeah, it seems awesome. And it's a 49 key. That's cool. Velocity sensitive. That's nice. And it's just a out MIDI. So yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, it's really neat. Cool, man. I think you can use on FL Studio. Yeah, you could. I know you could. It probably what you probably can't use it with the functionality, like all the like extra bells and whistles, but you could definitely hook it up and use it. Like you could link all these to whatever you want manually. You'll just have to manually do a lot of things, but I think even FL has a option for it. If I go to MIDI settings and then controller type, Novation launch key right there. So they have it 49 MK3. Well, they have MK2. Looks like they don't have MK3. Yeah, they do. They have it. They have it right here. Yeah, they have an MK3. They added it. So there you go. So actually you could just hook it up to hook it right up. It should probably still work all the same. It won't be perfect though. Usually it's never like perfect, but it's close enough, for most people. So yeah, it's definitely like you definitely wouldn't be sad using this on FL. This will still be really awesome to use and create with. So I mean, it's still a good buy, and it's really not that bad. $220. It's not that bad. I mean, you probably get a little cheaper on like Reverb.com. This is Guitar Center, but you could probably get a little cheaper, probably like 150 or something. So that's a pretty good thing. Yeah, like I think this keyboard was like $100. Like it wasn't that expensive. Yeah, it was like $100 when I got it. It says 150. Well, here it is. There's one that's 109. So like it's yeah, it's like $100. Typically it's about $100. It might have went up a little bit since I last got it, but yeah, it's a nice, like for me it works. So what I all I really wanted. When I bought mine, I thought I would use those colored pads, but nah. Yeah, they always try to get you though. I use Ableton Live in a vertical layout, not horizontal. Vertical's for playing live, and you use horizontal to create songs. Oh, I see. So, but you use the vertical layout for your production mode, I'm assuming. If for a beginner, which software is suggested to try out for a step? Um, that's a good question, HKJ. Obviously I'm biased for FL Studio, but I do think it's really easy. Like it's really simple. to kind of get get started. But the good news is, this is the good news. A lot of these programs have free trials. You know what I mean? So like you can you can try them out for free without paying anything, and then see if you like it. So I will see the most popular ones will be there's Ableton, there is FL Studio, which is what I use FL Studio. And then for the Mac, there's Logic. And those are like the three popular ones, but there's a bunch of them out there. There's also GarageBand for the Mac, which it used to be kind of like crappy. It used to be kind of crappy to use GarageBand, but it's not so bad anymore. Vertical layout to create song too. Yeah, that's what I was asking, Tarcisio. Are you? I'm assuming you're using the vertical layout to create the song and not just play live for your songs. Like, I'm assuming you're making songs like I am, but you're just using vertical mode. So HKJ, I would suggest that you check out which some of these. So like, let's go to Image Line, which is FL Studio. Which I can't. I'm already like logged in, but you can download it. So you go to download, right? And of course they have like these deals and stuff, so don't worry, whatever. The thing is, time unlimited free trial, which is means that you can use everything that like I'm doing. The only issue is you cannot save. So like, you wouldn't be able to save your project. You would have to just close it down and then start a new song every time, or you could like export it and then re-import it every time you open it up. You know what I mean? So there's that one, and then you can do Ableton. So Ableton Live, which there it is. You can go to Ableton, which you can try it for free, but it's only for like a limited time as well. So we can go here and see, you can try that for free for 90 days. So that's 3 months, which is a long time. I'll be honest with you. 3 months is a long time, which actually that's kind of cool. But those are the two. And then if you're on a Mac, then obviously you can go get Logic or GarageBand. GarageBand comes with your Mac or iPad or whatever, so you don't have to worry about it. Or you can get Logic. So it's kind of up to you. I would suggest just trying some of these out. And oh, could I? Yeah. I can type their names here. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll link them for you. So I'll link FL Studios. Okay, let's go here, and then, all right. Now this is FL Studios free trial. This will take you straight to the download page for FL Studio, and then we can link you the Ableton Live one. And I don't know, like, are you using a Mac, HK? If you're using a Mac, then you should probably check out Logic as well. It's probably a good idea. So, all right. Here's Ableton. Oops. Ableton. Oops. I can't type. And then if you're into Logic, which should be here. Let's see if I can open it up. This is like really big and goofy. but let's see. Logic remote, no. It's support. I guess you can just delete all this extra stuff. Should take you here. Okay, and then if you're on a Mac, go here for Logic. I'm using a Chromebook. Oh, okay. Well, then don't worry about the Logic one then. Sorry about that. Just look at Ableton and FL Studio. Those are the two most popular ones. And the reason why I do suggest those two, because you're going to probably find the most tutorials using those two. A lot of people make tutorials using FL or Ableton. But honestly, HK is just start playing around. And then you will probably, like, you'll be able to understand how people are doing it in any kind of like DAW, like whatever one they're using. Like, even if somebody uses the tutorial in Logic, you can still translate it to FL Studio. Are you sponsored by FL Studio? No, I'm not, Tarcisio. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I think that with the Chromebook, options of DAWs for it are more limited. DAW is a digital audio workstation, and Tarcisio is correct. Chromebooks aren't really music production laptops, but you could probably get a few simple things going with it. Look into Ableton, look into FL Studio. Reaper is good. I mean, Cubase is another one. Like, there's a bunch of them. But I think those are just the most like popular ones. So don't worry too much about it. You know what I mean? Just kind of look at what you wanna do, and just sort of play around and learn it, and then you can worry about like buying a specific one, because you're like, oh, maybe it's like your needs too. Like, what are you trying to do? If you're trying to just do what I do, like what I'm doing right here, this can be easily done in Ableton or FL or Logic, or like this can be really done. But if you're like, maybe you're more of a, like, you want to do live recordings, then maybe Reasons might be better, or Studio One might be better. Like, there's pros and cons. So it'll take a little bit. Yeah, to first understand the logic will take time. Yes. It will take a lot of time. So just kind of remember that too. Like, you're just gonna be learning it more often than like actually making anything great. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit. Are you using Windows? Yes. Yes, I'm using Windows. Oh, you're asking HKJ. He's using. Okay, yeah. They're using Windows as well. So, there you go. Anyways, hope that helps. Hope that's useful for you. And man, I do have some free project files too on my website for like beginners. I have a couple of them. I got one for sure. I need to make some more. I did have a bunch of them, but they're like kind of lost in my SoundCloud profiles. So, but there are some out there. I have some free project files for beginners to use on FL Studio, which is kind of like the bonus of, if you do use FL, like, you can at least like see exactly how I did it, and if you've been watching me, you've been here a while, HK, so you've seen the process a lot, even if you don't know what's going on. But that way you can look up one of these beginner files and make your own version of that. You know what I mean? In fact, we're definitely going to do that soon. I'm going to probably dedicate an entire stream for doing it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really want to make some more beginner stuff, beginner-friendly music, where it's very simple, very straightforward. We're not trying to make the next greatest, latest, whatever. And I think that it'll help other people who are just passing by, tuning into the stream. It'll help them. So, yeah, Tarcisio, he said yes, he's on Windows. So, he's not going to really mess with the Mac programs. But you never know. Like you might end up getting a Mac later on. You know what I mean? Like you might get a Mac down the road, and you might want to make it. But like the good news is, I think Ableton's available on Mac as well, and FL Studio is as well now. It used to not be, but now it is. So your options aren't limited that much anymore. Back 10 years ago, it is a different story. You know, it was a different story. But now it's pretty much universal. You can do whatever you want. Just whatever you're comfortable with, and then yeah, whatever operating system you use, be it a Mac or PC, you'll have to make a decision there. But I don't know, it works fine for me. I use Windows. I produce on this. I've been producing on FL Studio for years, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the flexibility, but I do want to someday get Ableton and probably make stuff on Ableton as well, just because um, it's definitely a good program to know and use. And now that I know how to produce, it's like it'd be like riding a bike, you know, like you definitely get into it. Mhm. Then you can install the indicated apps. Oh, I guess he just means you could try out FL Studio or Ableton, you know. But yeah, check it out. Just check it out on your free time, and then see what you think. And if you have any other questions about it, like once you install it and you're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Then yeah, this is the place. This is a safe place, you know, to ask your questions. No matter how silly you might think they are, there are no silly questions. There are no stupid questions. There like you knowing and understanding any part of this is absolutely important. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I'll try my best to help you out if I'm available or around in between productions cycles, you know. Leave a comment type of thing, and you know, we will do it. And honestly, HK, I promise you this, soon we'll do a beginner friendly um uh like stream where it's like you could follow along if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like you'll be able to do everything exactly as I'm doing it on the program, and make your own version as well. So I've kind of done it before, but it's kind of hard to do it. So, you know, no crack. Hey man, I don't see nothing, all right? I don't see nothing. I don't know nothing. I see nothing. Whatever you do to get it, this is however you do it. Safe place? Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to walk in a room full of like elite producers and be like, what's automation, you know? And all the elite artists is like stop and look at you, you know, like I don't want you to feel like that. Like if you don't know what something does, I want you to ask, or at least I could at least point you in the right direction at the very least, you know? Like I don't know everything, so I don't know like this thing inside out, but I do know enough to get you going, you know what I mean? So I want you to feel comfortable to like ask to be I want to help encourage your curiosity about the program. I want you to be comfortable with, you know, like learning parts about it. And also like the more you learn, the more you'll be able to answer questions on your own anyways. So it's just kind of like giving you a boost. Really appreciate it. You know, not many artists are willing to share and teach. I think the truthfully, HKJ, truthfully, is because a lot of artists aren't very confident in how they're doing it. It's not like it's not really straightforward, and a lot of artists themselves aren't like they're not, you know, they don't feel like they're at a level where they could share and teach to somebody else, you know. I think so. Like I know there are probably some that are just I guess arrogant or, really proud, and they don't want to like share their secrets. I'm sure there are some like that, but I think a lot of these artists are just kind of shy, you know. Like I'm just really shy too. I am shy, but I like music so much that it makes me not be shy because I like music. I like to talk about it, and I want to promote it. You know, like I want to support it, and I definitely like my genre, mellow prog. So of course you'll see me always making that and promoting that, but um, I do think that it's mostly like because yeah, like they're just scared to kind of show their things because they're afraid they're going to be judged, that somebody's going to look at their work and say, ew, that's how you do that, like that's horrible, and then like they're not, it's just kind of one of those things, more than like they just don't want you to know. But I don't know. I've ran into both sides of artists. Like I ran into some artists that are like me, where they're like super happy to share, and I ran into other artists who are very like restricted. They don't want to share anything. They don't even want to tell you their compressor settings or nothing. And you're like, I'm just curious. I just want to know. But there's forums and stuff out there that are really valuable. Facebook groups, forums. Like there's communities out there now where um you could find the information. And then there's people like me who just produce and create, and then you can definitely, like, these kind of streams right here. Like I was searching high and low for these when I first started because I really wanted to see how somebody else did it. And then the thing was, like, obviously I didn't find somebody making this because nobody made this, period. I found people making like trance or like techno, a little bit of house, but it wasn't quite like melodic like this, and but they were still doing things that I can use in my own productions, like the automation curves, sound designing sounds, just doing a lot of things that I picked up and learned along the way. So, HK, I wish you so much luck and fun in your journey, though. Don't be afraid. Pick it up. Look into it. See how it feels, and it'll be very overwhelming at first, but don't give up. Just keep at it. I promise you're gonna start to find so many awesome things about it. Anyway, sorry for chatting so much. I guess I'm just a chatty Cathy today. Here, to buy the license, you have to work with music. If it's a hobby, it's really hard to buy. Oh, wow, I didn't know that, Tarcisio. So, yeah, I didn't know that at all. But I guess I understand, too, at the same time that it's one of those things, like, you definitely, weren't, if you're not, like, really interested in it and really want to do it, then, yeah, like, but it's kind of true, though. Like, if you're really not that interested in it, you don't need to buy the license. FL Studio is just cool because you can buy the license in its lifetime. Supposedly, it lasts forever. And I mean, they're still true to their word to this day for me. I bought it many, many years ago and I still have it. Indeed, really, no other DJ makes such lives on YouTube. Yeah, that's for this. There's not that many. There's a few though. Lauren Schrader, I know she does lives. So you can check her out. And she's made some mellow prog before. I don't know if she still is or not, to be completely honest. I don't really follow her exclusively, but I know she does do lives from time to time. There's a couple of people. I've seen Lumidelic play live on Twitch. Yeah, Lumi does. He DJs sets. He does sets and stuff live a lot. and he's awesome. But he doesn't typically show his creation process. Like I said, a lot of artists, they're not like confident in their like showing it, because like even for me, like all this stuff, I could literally come back to this tomorrow and like erase it all and start making something different. And, like the viewer will be like, what did you do? Like, wow. But like for me, it's kind of like, I didn't like it, man. I wanted to do something different. So, like stuff like that. But hopefully with like people like me streaming and giving it more, like making it more common. I think other people, and I think I have, like helped other people kind of like, hey, he's doing this, and he's not that great, he's all right, yeah, I could do better, and then it gives them the courage to start up their stream and show people how it's done on their side of things, show their skills, so to speak. So it's very rare. Yeah, I mean, it is rare right now, but I mean, I think that'll change. Donovan is the colonizer of the lives of the creators of Frog House. I'm bringing them together. That's what I'm trying to do. Bring them all together. Um, I could be better. I used to be a lot more active about it. I just lately I've been kind of like not as much, and but that's changing. Like I'm feeling the vibes again, so to speak. Um, Creating and hanging out with the chat has been really cool, period. Like the different people that come through and talk to me. It's been really fun. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. So thanks for the conversation, guys. Jai, Tarcisio, Paulo, I appreciate you guys chatting with me. It's really cool. It's cool because like I don't really have anybody to talk to about this, like nobody here cares about it that much, and I would bore them to death, talking about it. And like my poor parents, they've heard it enough, So it's not really that many people that I can just like talk about this with, which is why I do create content about it too. Like I do like the podcast about it and stuff, because there's just not that many places where you can talk about this. That's People aren't gonna look at you kind of weird, like what, And then especially in the real world, it's very rare for you to walk out and find another producer at all, much less find somebody who produces your kind of music or the music you're interested in. It's not that many people. So when you do find them, you kind of like, wow, that's crazy. I want to know everything you do, And I'm definitely like that. I'm like, oh, if I meet another producer, I'm like, yeah, man, I want to know what you do and check it out, I try not to like I used to be all about like sharing my own music and stuff, but now I'm not so much. I'm just like, yeah, I make music, but I don't really like try to brag about it or anything. I just say, yeah, I'm a musician. I like to make music, and I leave it at that. If they really put